All right, guys, we are so excited. It is Monday night, our team Zoom, and I am Stephanie Dunn, and this is Joel Dunn, my husband, and we have been in for 12 years, and we are Black Diamond double ambassador, kind of worked our way up all the way through. So started as a distributor and got all the way to the top, basically doing what these girls are doing. Things have
Yes.
shifted a little bit, but I think that's the best thing is we constantly are learning and growing from how things are just shifting around, and I cannot wait, you guys. We've got three amazing girls, and I just really want to jump into it. I hope that you have your pad of paper ready, a pencil or pen, and you're going to take lots of notes because this is for everyone. This is for people that are on social media. This is for people that want to do more in person. This is for people that want to do all of the things. And I think that's what I'm most excited about is really there's no excuses. It's just figuring out, getting down to it, getting out there and doing the work and having the results.
Yeah, guys, it's one of those things where people ask all the time, what do we do to get to the level of success that we're at? And the simple answer is everything.
Mhm.
And then the question is how much of it? And lots of it. So today we're going to get into it with three different ladies on different ways that you can do this. But the thing is don't just pick one, do all of them.
Yeah.
If you want big success, you have to do big things.
Yeah. Who wants big success? I mean, drop that in the comments if you're ready for big success because the difference is they just put in the work. And I know you are all capable of doing
Amy
that.
Johnson's
And
in there saying me and she's talking today.
yeah. So I'm super, super excited. So we're going to get kicked off right away. Ashley, are you able to unmute yourself?
Hey, hey.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to have Ashley. I feel like she's like a little mini me. I'll take her under my wings anytime, but she's a presidential diamond, mom of two. So crazy. They are just adorable. And what I love is she's going to share some things, but you guys, there is no excuses. She just had a baby, like just not that long ago. So, if you're busy with work and you feel like, gosh, I've got a lot of, I'm working all the time. How can I work this into my busy lifestyle? Maybe you have a couple kids, maybe you're a new mom, and how do you do that? And so, Ashley, give us a little bit of a rundown. I know you didn't start with two babies, but, what was your life like when you started at Works and where are you at now?
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me on. You guys are literally my favorite. But I'm Ashley. I joined this business when I was 19. So just like Steph said, I mean, I joined when I had just dropped out of college and I joined this business with 0 kids. And now I have a toddler who makes me feel like I'm going crazy sometimes. And then I have a newborn. So, life is crazy, but I mean, I'm just trying to realize that this is just like a season of my life and I'm just trying to embrace it and just like ask for guidance through every season. And I think that's the coolest thing is when you kind of figure out like this is what you're going to do forever, that there's going to be things that you go through in this business and it's not it's not necessarily the business, but it's just your life and you're just working this business into your life. But I, like Steph said, I'm a presidential diamond and I'm super excited to just share some of my tips with you guys tonight. I've had like the best like 2 past weeks of my life, so I'm super excited.
You have had a lot of amazingness happen. So you guys, not only is she a presidential diamond and I've seen her kind of grow up in the business, even different hair colors, you guys. So she's been around a little bit. And something I want you to know is you can have fast success, but the key is to stay in because we don't know when success is going to happen for you. So when you decide, I love what you said, Ashley, when you decide this is for you, you're going to go through all different seasons of life and you're going to learn and you're going to grow from that. But you just came back from Winner's Circle. So congratulations. Way to get it done and get there. For those of you that don't know Winner's Circle, you had to earn that. And so she worked hard to get into that group. It wasn't just, tippy top of the company for being around, but she actually did the work. So we're going to hear what she's been doing to have the success. But then also you went to a women's conference and, she's constantly filling her mind with good things. And so I want you guys to check yourself if you're feeling like you're in a place of maybe feeling stuck or that devil likes to get into our heads and put fear and doubt and maybe this isn't for you. You need to listen to Ashley and what she's going to have to share. So Ashley, we want to know, what did you do to get to Winner's Circle?
Okay, so I will say the month that I earned the points was in April. I literally had my daughter at the beginning of April. So, and I took 10 days off after she was born. So, like, I just decided halfway through the month, like on April 15th, I was like, I'm going to be there because I had so much FOMO for the people that had earned it before. And then when you guys had the premiere in like January, I was like, I have to be there. Like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to be there. And I think the number one thing I was talking to someone about today is that I just had peace with it. Like, I was like, God, like, if you want me there, make the customers come in, make the distributors come in. And I think I signed like 50 customers until I signed one distributor that whole month. I didn't sign a distributor until like the 25th of that month. And I signed like 8 people at the end of the month. And then I was like getting my fast start. So I got most of my points from customers. Not saying that's what you should do, build your team, but I just had so much peace with it. And I think that's like one of the best pieces of advice that someone gave me is just work from a place of peace and not anxiousness. So if you're pushing for the island, I'm pushing for the island. The points are not where I want them to be, but I'm like, if you want me to be there, God, make a way for me to be there. And then I just had such an overwhelming amount of peace when the customers came in. I decided that I was just going to be humble about it, and I was going to be grateful for every like day and every situation that I was going through. And like I said, like it was a crazy month for me because I had my daughter that month, and then I was just going through like people on my team quitting, and it was so awesome to see how God just allowed that to happen. For me to just make sure that I was there, because honestly, our minds do go like all over the place. Like, am I supposed to go do what other people do? Like, am I meant to be here? And it was so nice to just know that like God made that happen and gave me that peace to just allow me to make sure that I could be at the ranch, because it was just such an awesome experience. And I've been in this business, like I said, for 6 years, and I've never had that kind of time with Mark and just the people that were there. And it was really cool that it wasn't all the top income earners, just like you were saying. I wish you guys would have been there, but it was nice because I was like, oh, I want to be with the other group because it was more people that I knew. But then once I was there, it was exactly how it was supposed to be. So one thing that I just kind of took away from the ranch was just like the Latino community. I'm like, I need them on my team because they are awesome. Like, if you guys don't follow like Jessica Hidalgo, there's a bunch of people that were in there, and I'm sure we can come up with a list of them. Even though if they go live, we don't really know what they're saying unless you speak Spanish, but you can just tell through the way that they're talking, they're so passionate about it. And the one thing that I took away from them is that they're sitting there like they're like crying over the fact that because of this business, they were able to have like their first apartment, and we're over here thinking we need a dream house to be successful. And it's like, how selfish are we? There's people out there who literally just want to have a place to live and be able to afford to have a place to live. So whenever I was around them, it made me realize, even though I already know that, but just seeing it from their perspective and just knowing that like this is something that they need, they need to be successful with this, and they just work their butts off for it. But
that's such a good reminder, Ashley. Just like, so many people are looking for us or praying for us for, like, I was just needing $100. Like, that's life-changing to so many people, or if they could just get ahead. And so there's a lot of people like that. Something that you guys should write down. It's the middle of the month. Tomorrow's the 15th. Ashley said she didn't start getting to work until the middle of the month. And she did 50 loyal customers, and then those distributors came at the end of the month. So,
I mean, how many of you would like 50 loyal customers from now until the end of the month? Throw 50 in the comments.
I also want you guys to know something. She didn't not do anything for years. So being consistent also is a very good theme with Ashley. So if you were to start there, I would say be a product of the product too, because that will absolutely help and start really getting you on your way. But that was such a cool thing to say, Ashley, is when you just decide, like, things can happen within a matter of days. We just never know. So I'm so glad that you did that. What are some of the things, you said, okay, mid-month you got to work. I know what you do, but for everybody else, we're like, okay, what does she do? She made that decision. So make that decision tonight, you guys, that you're going to go after. Maybe it is 50 loyal customers. Go big. Don't think small, but decide to do that. But when you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, what were some of the consistent things that you did to recruit and get all those customers?
So a lot of it was posting on my feed, and like, I'm just, obviously, guys, I just had a kid. So my algorithm was like insane. So like, honestly, when you have a kid and then you're going to start posting about the business, it's like, how do you weave your way into that without it being like awkward? Like, oh, I'm trying to get back to working my business. And I was just like, well, I'm just going to start doing it. And started just posting about the product. I started going, on my Instagram story of me making the coffee every single day. And I started like telling people how much weight I was losing from the coffee every single day on my stories. And like I said, the algorithm was obviously in my favor because I had just had a child. But I also, just like Steph said, I've been building my list of people for 5 years. I have 5,000 Facebook friends. I have followers on Instagram. That's years of work. I had someone ask me today, how'd you get so many comments on your posts? And I didn't get any. I'm like, because it's just something that I've done for years. And honestly, I show a lot of my life. So when I do post about the product and I do post about the business, people do come to me because I'm also posting my life as well. So I know that's something we always talk about. But and then I was really diving into Host to Post and just really building my list through there. Something that I did in April, because my daughter, like newborns, people act like it's so hard, but all they do is sleep, especially like the first like month. It's like you have more time than you even think because they just sleep all the time. I went through my Facebook friends list and I would go to Google in like a different tab and I would just type in like popular names. So for example, I would type in Stephanie because that was like a popular name that came up on the list. And for 30 minutes, I would go through these names and I would delete people because you can search Stephanie as the friends that you have, or you can search Ashley or Taylor. You can search those names. And I was just going to message every single person. If I hadn't talked to them before, I was asking them in Host to Post. If I talked to them in the past, there were people I was signing up from 2019 because I was like, hey, I know we talked about the product in the past. Just want to let you know the deal is still on the table or the deal is still available. Is now a better time to place your order. There's so many customers coming in from that. And then also following up with people about the opportunity too. But something that I was just telling you, Steph, today is that what I have been doing ever since leaving the Winner Circle, I talked to Chelsea, who's one of Rachel Jones's girls. She was saying how she does so many voice memos. And I don't know why, but when someone sends me a voice memo, I don't want to listen to it. It's like, how long is it? Do I really have to spend that much time listening to it? But that's because we get them daily as leaders. We get them so often. But I've just been sending voice messages. If I'm reaching out to someone about the business or talking to them about the product, I've just been going straight to voice memo. And I've found that that's been working so well with the opportunity. I've signed 5 distributors this month, and every single one of them I've had a voice message conversation with. My first message is still the initial message. Then when they reply, I'm sending voice message. And they're replying faster because they don't know what it says. You know how you can like pull down the notification, you can kind of read half of it and then scroll away. Well, they don't know what it says, so they're replying faster, and then it's becoming easier to even train them because I feel like I have a connection with them already. So
I love that. She shared a few of the messages and scripts that she is sharing. So I'll pop those into the chat so you guys can see that. But that was something that I loved. I'm with you, Ashley. I'm like, oh my gosh, for the love, another voice memo. But not everybody has the amount of people that we do on our team. So most people are curious, right? They're like, what is this message talking about? And they get to hear your voice. So I think that even for me was an aha, Ash, when you sent that over. It was like, oh gosh, I really need to get back to just voice memoing and hearing their voice and hearing the excitement of what they're doing. But you guys, she isn't doing anything crazy. I hope you guys caught that she's reaching out. She's picking a name and she's actually messaging. One of the questions that they got is, how do you determine who to delete?
As long as it's not Joel Dunn, you're safe.
So I believe that God will like guide you. So like if there's a way, like sometimes you feel like you're like looking at somebody and you're like something's telling, even though they've ignored you 10 times, you feel like you should keep them. I just feel like that's God telling you to keep them because you just never know. Maybe they join. But then there's sometimes where you've messaged them so many times and you're just like, you're free. You just feel free to delete them. So that's kind of just like something you have to decide on your own. But if it's like I've messaged you 10 times and you keep commenting that you want to get into my giveaway, but you don't post for me, then you're probably going to get deleted unless I feel something that I shouldn't, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys, I think that's something. If you've stalked their Facebook a little bit and you're like, man, I really want this person, keep them on the list. If it's somebody that you're just like, you know what, they haven't responded for me, and I'm like, in their Facebook might not be the way that I want it, it's not my avatar, right? Then go ahead and delete so you can make the room for more. But
I think that was an important thing to understand is, who are you looking for?
Mm-hmm.
So like Ashley and both Steph said, if you're looking for somebody specific and those people don't match up, it's a lot easier to remove them and make more for the people that you are looking for. But you do have to take a moment and figure out, what kind of person are you looking for? What is your avatar that you want to join your team, that you want to buy products from you?
And I think you guys, if you have the code, if you haven't got your conference ticket yet for September, you can go ahead and get on and do that. And then you're going to get 5 codes for half off. Or if they upgrade and they actually automatically pick the special, the kit special on there, then they'll get that 50% off in those extra products that they're going to buy with their kit. So it'll automatically take that down. But what a great time to message people that you're fearful of. The worst case they're going to do is a no. My dad said that to me this past weekend was, you just got to ask people. All they're going to do is they're going to either say yes, they're not going to answer, or they're going to say no. And I was like, Dad, I wish you could be on my Zoom, because most people are scared to even ask the question. And I promise you, you won't die. And if you want to be at the island, or if you have a goal of hitting Ruby, or, you know, maybe making the extra $200, it's a people business. We get paid by customers and distributors. So once you figure out, kind of treat it like a game, like, oh, they're going to say yes or no, or they're not going to answer, things will go that much better. And so I think just reaching out and asking and genuinely saying, hey, I stalked your page. I really think that I could help mentor you and be an amazing leader on my team. If you're coachable, you can do this business. And so don't be afraid to do that. I think once you get a conversation going, you are just talk to them like you would want to be talked to. So if you are like, I don't like scripty, don't do scripty, do the voice messaging like Ashley would do. So making sure that you would do that. Is there anything else on there, Ashley, that are you sending them? Like what comes in the kit? Like, are you kind of guiding them, or less info is best kind of way?
Well, I just go, I mean, if you've been in this business for a few years, you pretty much have your scripts that you use. I'm just sending it through a voice message. So I end every voice message with a question, just like we would if we had a script. We want them to reply. And then one thing that Chelsea told me is that if they don't respond, all you have to do is message them like later that day or the next day and just say, hey, could you hear me okay? Or could you hear me okay? Instead of saying like, hey, did you get my voice message? Because then they open it. And sometimes you'll see that they don't open it.
I like that. I like that. You guys write that down. Hey, did you hear me okay? Like, then you get a verbal yes, and they're going to say yes because you did speak clear. So that's a great tip, you guys. Write that down. That's like gold nuggets right there. I love it. Okay. Anything else? So you said, with customers, kind of tell us, is it the pick 2, pick 3? Are you upselling? What's your go-tos?
Yeah, so I texted you the host to post that I've been doing. I've been going back and forth between the like weight loss one. It's literally just says like, how much weight would you like to lose? And it says 5 to 10 pounds, 10 to 15, whatever. And that, I'm not kidding, every time somebody posts that, it literally has at least over 20 comments. So if you guys aren't doing that, and so what I've been doing with that, and Steph, I can text them to you, is just leading with asking them if they like coffee. So if they say yes, then I have a message that I send. If they say no, then there's a message as well. So if they say yes, then I do 2 bags of coffee and then the Thermofite X. If they say no, then I'm doing the skinny tea and the gummies, because that's like, caffeine free. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. So that's a pick 3. And so that's 60 BV. And then there are times where I will do like a cleanse host to post, and I can upsell from that. I used to just always do like fat fighters and celery because it was never on the pick 3, because it used to be if you put 3 products on there and it was a pick 3, then it would automatically just take the BV lower and give them the pick 3 price. And so what I've been doing is just upselling from the celery or to the cleanse, celery, and fat fighters, and it's like $107, and I think it's 79 BV. So that's almost 20 more BV. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. They're all pick 3 or pick 2 is what I've been trying to do, or just like its own package.
I love that, you guys, because even when we started 12 years ago, we didn't have all these amazing products. And I remember, one of our top sellers was always fat fighters. Like, people wanted that, but I'm like, well, do you want to lose weight fast or do you want to go slow? Because if you're going to go fast, then I would recommend these products, right? So we want to recommend our best products that we have. And if they're caffeine sensitive, we want to steer away from the products with caffeine. So now that we have some products that don't have caffeine, that's huge for us. So don't be afraid to say, okay, this is what I would do. Most people would go with that. And I think when you say some keywords like that, they're more apt to do that. Worst case, you can say, if you're on a budget, we can always start you with one and we could add two, or even in a couple weeks, if you get paid again, we could do that. But it also opens a door. I think if people are going to go ahead and order 3 products after you get their information, do not be afraid to offer the business, you guys. If they're getting 3 products, we know they're going to get amazing results. So why not upgrade and say, you know what, before I go ahead and get this going, have you ever thought about making extra money while you're getting great results? And there's really no commitment if this just isn't for you, but what a great time to try. And so I try to take that edge off for people to be like, well, yeah, why wouldn't I want to lose some weight and make some extra money and go for some bonuses? And with the 5 loyals, make $100 each week. That'd be a great thing. So, we've got a lot on the table to offer. I just don't want you guys feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. Start there. And then that's a great way. If you're a little nervous to talk about distributorship right up front, it's just opening the door, asking them if they want to make some extra money while using the product. So that's that. You guys, nothing super magical. She decided, she got to work, being consistent, switching up your algorithm. I think I want you guys to know something is, if you're feeling like the same people are seeing your stuff, go and interact with people, go through the stories, clean out your Facebook a little bit. I know that seems like it takes time, but you got to decide, okay, I'm in this. This is a season for me to clean up my Facebook a little bit, or Instagram, to get my algorithm switched out. Because you could have a baby.
Yeah, it's like, or you could be like, actually, and have a baby, and that's a 9-month commitment minimum, and then the rest of your life.
Or a fur baby. You could just borrow somebody's dog and be like, should I get a puppy? Like, everybody loves animals, so we can always do that. So you had a great event with Winner Circle. Believe me, I was so jealous that I wasn't there, and life happens, and it was a different season for me. But I also know that you all got to meet each other and grow from it and learn so many different ideas, but still the same. And I want you guys to understand that, like, you're going to tweak things and you're going to build off of it, and you're going to get better and better the more that you do it. So have confidence in that, knowing that as a brand new distributor, you might feel like, I just started this week or last week, and I don't even know what they're talking. This lingo, it doesn't make sense. The more that you learn, the more that you get involved and stay close, the better that you get. It's just like riding a bike. But then you were at a women's conference. So how was that? You actually got to spend a little bit of time with Cami. And this business is great, you guys. We have amazing products. We know that it works. The price point is literally on point. It's super affordable. But we also know, I would say 95% of this business is our mind and who we're listening to and who we're around. So did you get some gold nuggets from the events that you were just at?
Okay, yeah. So first I want to say, it was like, I think Thursday night, Cami came in town, and we were all at dinner with a few other leaders that are in St. Louis. And they were saying, okay, Cami, like, how did you, if you guys didn't know, she had a few girls like over at her house, like a slumber party. And they're like, how do we get, to have a sleepover at your house? And she's like, they just asked. And then she, I was talking to her about how Rachel had a few girls that were on her team. They all earned the ranch, and she asked her, like, can we have some one-on-one time with you? And she just asked her. And so she's just saying, she's like, yeah, I mean, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And so my pastor is Nicole Crank, and I knew Cami was going to the event. And so we all kind of got like a space where everybody that was with It Works could all sit together. And like 2 years ago, I was, reading the High God book, and like, brought it to like a few people in the company, and now Cami and Nicole are friends. And so she's speaking at the event, and she was saying how she had to like get there early. And so I'm thinking, like, in my head, I'm like, okay, she's getting there early. So like, what is she doing before the event? So I just sent her a voice message on Friday, or I guess, yeah, it was Friday morning. And I was like, look, I used it against her. I was like, look, you always say that if you don't ask, the answer is no. And I was like, whatever you're doing, like before the event, I just want to hang out with you. And she literally just went like above and beyond, got me like a VIP access badge to be able to be with them for dinner. I was able to watch her like film some for the Nicole Crank show. The next day we were able to all have lunch together, and just like, I got to watch her meet Real Talk Kim, and like meet another person that was speaking. And just, it was so cool to see like them be friends, because like, that's my pastor. So it's so special to me. And it's like, there was no like golden nugget that was like, oh, they said this. It was the fact that how many things have I missed out on because I didn't ask? like the next time I see Stephanie is having people for her team like go somewhere, I'm just gonna text her and be like, hey, can like I just go with you? Because how many times are we uncomfortable and we don't want to ask? And I'm telling you guys, I asked her and she goes, let me see if I can do that. And she didn't get back to me for 6 hours. So I'm sitting at my house. I'm like, do I get ready? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, am I like, can I go or can I not go? And immediately she sent me a voice message like once right after I got out of the shower, and she was like, I'm so proud of you for asking me to start at 5:15 and we can have dinner. And it's just because all I did was ask her. And so I want to encourage you guys, is there someone that you live near that you know is a leader and you just want to get lunch with them and you're inspired by them? Like that was the one thing that made me realize how many things have I missed out on because I just felt like a little uncomfortable to ask them. And I don't really like, I was talking to Rachel about, I was like crying on the way there because I needed that. Like, it wasn't a special conversation that we had. It was just quality time with me and her and Pamela. And we were just able to literally just hang out and just like have conversations that we've never had before and just kind of be like stuck to hang out together. You know what I mean? Not in a way like either of us were forced to, but it was exactly what I needed. And I'm like, I got so much time with her at the ranch and then being able to hang out with her at the conference. And so I don't know, it just really opened my eyes to like I'm gonna start just being bold about the things that like I'm inspired by instead of like feeling like you're jealous of a situation, just be like, how can I be in that situation? So that's just what I decided to do.
Yeah, you guys, that's such a great reminder. So write this down. Even when you're new, like you got to ask, how do you learn? How do you grow? You have to ask questions. And people are willing to share and to lead. And sometimes it's asking a second time. So if they don't get back to you, it's not because maybe they don't want to, maybe they're busy. So don't give up on what you want, and walk. I think I'm really good at this, walking into what I want. I already assume that I'm going to get what I want. So I'm going to walk in that presence and be like, well, I just thought that this was what I was supposed to have. And so I don't assume anything else other than really believe what you want you're going to have. And it doesn't mean that it always comes at that second, but you've got to believe that. And so that's just something I think with the mind, being around the people, who do you want to be like? Again, this is some mind stuff, especially coming into we're halfway through the year, and it can play tricks on us because we think, man, we haven't had maybe the LC enrollments that we want or the DT enrollments that we want. And so don't think that it's you. We got to work differently. We've got to change some things, but it's seasons of the business. We know that at the beginning of the year, more people are looking for weight loss maybe, or those things. So we're more apt to really be bold about it. So be bold in the summer. You can change that and have killer summer, fall months because you decided and you got to work. So I want to make sure you guys know that. Did you put down?
Can I say one more thing before?
Yep. I was just going to say, Philip, you just text me over something. So while the other girls are talking, I'm going to put in the chat what you sent me over, some of the scripts and stuff that she follows suit with too.
Okay, one more thing is you don't like, what it made me realize is that there are people who know I'm not Cami, but they could look at me as just inspiring. So like, just because she went out of her way to like make sure that we could spend time together, who can you spend time with that's like gonna help them? You know, like think about those people and love on those people and realize that you have influence on the people that are on your team or sidelines or whoever. Like we were gone for like 4 minutes and she texted me, I already miss you. And I'm thinking like, what the heck? Like that's such a, you know what I'm saying? Like that's such like a nice little thing to say, but it meant so much. So who can I inspire that way? And then I texted Jaden and I'm like, I miss you, you know, like it just makes me realize how influential that we can be. But we don't know how powerful like we could be to somebody else. So
I love that. I'm taking notes because I think sometimes I assume everybody knows how much I love them and appreciate them, but getting down and shooting over a text or reaching out to the people that, you know, maybe those new distributors like, hey, you joined for a reason. I want to be able to help you. How can I help you? I believe in you. So make sure that we're writing those down. We're human. We got to give each other grace and we can all get better and we can learn from that. So I just appreciate your realness, Ashley. I just love you. I've always said you're like my mini me. I just adore you because she's always positive and she's always looking to do better. And how can she lead? How can she do more? And she's always willing to share. So be that. that's who I think, don't be afraid to do that. So I love that. We've got the things in the chat. You got them up in the chat already. Joel's amazing at that. So I appreciate you. We'll come back around if there's any last minute, like, aha, I forgot this, that I'll come back around. So that's all things kind of social and being in proximity to people. You guys give Ashley some love in the comments. What did you love from her? Make sure you tell her that in the comments. And next we're going to bring on Taylor. I actually feel like these two are twins. I've said this, Ashley. I have said Taylor many times, like, you remind me of Ashley. So I feel like we need to connect, you guys. Somehow we're going to meet in person. I'll make a lunch or something. I'm going to get myself in trouble. Now everybody's going to be asking, Steph, can I come hang out?
Oh, she totally needs to go on our trips.
Yes, I'm ready to hang out, and I need a big house is what we're working on. But Taylor, you are like always consistent, like super, super consistent with things. And Host to Post is working. So we're going to talk a little bit about Host to Post and what that means. And you're a busy mama as well. Like, you have a little one. You started out younger. Same thing, kind of grew up in this business. Just recently went double diamond, and your team is catching on fire. I just love. I've seen some leaders rise up with you. That's exciting to me. But really, whenever I ask, okay, what's working? What's everybody doing? And for you, Host to Post. So does Host to Post still work? When we hear that, I feel like a broken record, but is that something that's still working with you and in a crazy schedule?
Yes. So Host to Post is absolutely working. And I love it because you can literally do so many things with Host to Post. It's not just like Host to Post in itself. Like, you can sell samples, you can expand your network, you can like grow your potentials list, like all of the things with Host to Post. And it's just being consistent with it. Like, that's very, very important, is staying consistent with Host to Post, because it works if you work Host to Post. So not just here and there, all over the place. You have to be consistent with it for it to work.
Yeah. So, I know that you are super consistent. So understanding your schedule. So what is your day look like? Because I think too, people think, oh my gosh, we're on our, the computer, the phone 24 hours a day. But when you can be specific with where you work, things work differently too. And of course, there's going to be times when you're going a little bit harder. So you're going to be, end of the month, or you're going for promotions, you're going to do things a little bit more. And it's crazy. You get like this burst of energy, but give us kind of the rundown and how those Host to Post lead into cash, because you're a sample cash queen too.
Yes. So first off, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Like, you hear it a million times. Like, you have to plan your day the night before, or like the next day you plan the night before. So like tonight I'm planning my tomorrow, but what my tomorrow is going to look like is I get up a couple hours before my daughter wakes up, and that's when I get ready. That's when I'm doing my devotions, my time with God, and just setting my mind, like, because mindset is so important, and setting my mind right. And then we have our morning power hour, and that's where I get a lot of my work done. And then I put my phone down. So I'm sending out the messages, I'm doing my interactions, I'm commenting, I'm doing all the things. So I've not just had a baby like Ashley. So, but I have to work on my algorithm different ways. So it looks like commenting on stories, commenting on posts, and reaching out to people. So that boosts your algorithm, and that you're in those people's news feeds too. So you have to do all of the things to be successful. Like Joel said, like, don't just do one of the things. You have to do all of the things. So you have to do all the things. And I'm doing those in the power hour we have every single day at 8 a.m. And so making sure I'm doing all of those in that time. And then I put my phone down and have time with my daughter. We do all of her learning and phonics and all the things, and lunch. And then after she goes down for a nap, and then I'm picking my phone back up and doing my intentional working. So you're not just on your phone all the time. So you get to choose your hours of the day. And so I do work while she takes a nap, and then I put my phone down and we play after she wakes up, and then after she goes to bed. So just being intentional with the time you do have. You can have a busy life. Ashley has 2 kids. Like, people work full time. I have a kid. And you don't want to be consumed with your phone all the time, because then you really aren't getting productive work done. Just being intentional with the time you do have, and just staying consistent with being intentional.
You guys, I think too, like once you get to a place where this is what you're doing, if you were working at a job, most people work 8 hours. So if this is what you were doing, I think about that, like 8 hours of intentional work with this, that's a lot. That's a lot of heavy work that can be done and knocked out, and results come with that when you're super focused on that time that you have. So not just scrolling. I've coached a few people just recently. They're like, I catch myself scrolling. That's okay. Set your timer. So maybe you don't know what a power hours is. It's intentional time where we just know the things to do. So 10 minutes, maybe your first 10 minutes is you're going and you're commenting on people's stories before you even post for the day, so that when you go to post, you've already interacted. So people that don't generally see your post are going to start seeing your post. Then the next one is green light messaging. What is green light messaging? Going on Facebook and messaging the people that are actually active and on Facebook at that time. More interaction, more people are going to see your post. Set the timer again. Next 10 minutes, maybe it's picking out a name and you're messaging those people. Next 10 minutes, maybe it's creating that story. So there's things that you can really do and create and focus without, if people are messaging you, you're not answering until all of your tasks are done. And you're going to hear that called KPIs, power hours. It's just, where do you need to designate your time to get the stuff done? So that's what a power hour is that Taylor's doing. You can do 4 power hours a day. I don't care what you want to do. The more that you do, the more chances you're going to have of getting more in front of more people, which leads to getting more customers and distributors. So remember, numbers game, the more you're in front of them, the better the chances are of getting customers and distributors. Hopefully.
There's also the power of the half hour. So guys, don't think that you have to do everything in an hour. You can break things up in half-hour chunks as long as they're focused and productive. And how do you know if they're focused and productive? They're leading to results. So if you're doing these things and there's no results coming from them, then maybe you need to pay attention to what you're doing, because you may just be doing busy work and not productive work.
Yeah. If you have a job, that's totally fine too. It's going, I don't want to be at this job maybe forever. So are you willing, again, we get a choice to get up an hour early to get your power hour in, or 30 minutes in. Do you have a lunch? Can you take a lunch break and actually do it on your lunch? And then again at night. So there is time in the day. It's just deciding, what are you going to say yes to and what are you going to say no to? You got to make it a priority to have the success. I remember working, we would get up at 3 a.m, you guys, go drive to work an hour away at a gym. And then we'd be the last ones home. We wouldn't go to bed till 10. We were getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep. That was hard. I love it. I can do it wherever I want. So if you work, you actually have to be even more focused. And I feel like they know how to get the work done better. So make sure that you guys know that.
8 to 5, 9 to 5, that's working on your living. 5 to 9, 5 to 2 a.m., that's working on your wealth.
Yep. So totally doable. When you are getting, you guys, the host to post up, you're getting your work done. Some people may not say anything, but I want Taylor to share how she's getting cash from just doing what she's doing every day, because she's already texted me today. I've missed her text the last couple of weeks of new LC, new DT, $20 cash, $70 cash. So tell us, we may not always get somebody to be a loyal customer or distributor or put a post up, but they may want to try the product, and you can have cash in your pocket. So what is it that you're doing there, Taylor?
Yeah, so it's all host to post. So like I said, everything, I run my business by host to post. Like I live by host to post. It's awesome. So you're reaching out to these people and they put up a post for you. And then afterwards you're thanking them, and I can put it in the comments, but you're thanking them and saying, hey, I'm giving you a $5 coupon off of this coffee sample. Normally I sell them for $25 and I'm selling it today for $20 with this coupon. Would you be interested? And then they say yes or no. If they say no, or I don't like coffee, I say, oh, well, I have some skinny tea samples as well. I have chai, lemon, rosé. Would you prefer that? And if they're like, no, thanks, I appreciate it, or whatever, you just move on. your merry way or whatever. But then if they say yes, you can sell them a 3-day sample or even a 6-day sample. And then if they're buying a 6-day sample, I always ask, well, would you actually want to get an even bigger discount and get better results? And you just upsell them to being a customer. And then like Steph said, if they're ordering multiple products, then turning it over to being a distributor, because they've already posted for you. They're basically doing the business already. So why not get paid along with it? So I'll drop the scripts in the chat here in a minute, but like, that's just everything. And then after they posted for me, whether they buy a sample or not, I go back a couple of days later and ask if they want info on how to earn an extra income. Because they're, like I said, they're already doing the business basically for you. Why not they get paid as well?
I love that, you guys. So here's the deal. We can make a lot of cash each day. We can make those $100 from 5 loyal customers. You get $100 weekly. If you're enrolling distributors and you're helping them get their customers, that's fast starts through the week. And then we get paid that residual. So there's a lot of money on the table. So don't forget to ask. Again, I think the main thing I'm getting from the Zoom is ask a lot, because
be an asshole,
because there's so many people that, you know, they get the ask of, hey, would you mind posting for me? And they don't do anything, or they did. And then you don't offer them the samples, which can lead to so much more. Because I've found too, that when we get people to do a host to post for us, they may be curious about the product they're posting about. And so don't be afraid to let them know, hey, I've got a really good deal for you right now, you know, and just let them know I've got a coupon that you can actually try a couple of my samples. And you guys make sure you have samples. Please make sure that you have product at home so that you can have cash in your product or in your pocket. So anything else, Taylor, on host to post? What are your top host to posts?
I do gummies is great one, Thermofite X, and then obviously like giveaway host to post and stuff to expand your network. But one thing I do want to just make sure I say, because this has just been a game changer just in the last, like the beginning of this month, is making sure you're writing it down. Because last year when I got really serious with host to post, I was tracking it. You know, we all got real big on trackers and stuff. And then I kind of got away from it because I'm like, oh, well, I'm not always with my binder or whatever, or my notepad. But if you're specific, like doing host to post specific times of the day, like being intentional, you have your binder with you. And so making sure to write down every single person that says they will put up a host to post for you, checking them off once they have. And then if they haven't, going back a couple of days later and say, like, because you have your list, going back to who put it or said they would put it up and saying, hey, did you get that put up? Because a lot of the time people just forget. And so you're missing out, or maybe they did and didn't let you know that they put it up. And so you're missing out on a ton of host to post just because of non-communication. So making sure you're writing it down and just tracking it along the way. And then it's a great folder for potentials, even like distributors asking them that way too. But that's just a last minute tip.
I love that, you guys. So the ask, be intentional. Like, are you going to decide that you're going to get customers and distributors? So really it's the host to post, it's the asking, it's doing the thing, is it being a product of the product? And I just love all of those tips. Like, you know, even if you get one tip that you can utilize, that can change your business a ton too. So this is a lot of good information that you guys are getting. They're sharing their scripts in there, and sharing not their scripts. I think that was what was refreshing for me, was Ashley was just being herself. And I know people at the beginning, if they've never done the business, they're like, I just need a script. That is fine. The more that you do that, the more that you're going to learn how to become yourself, become more of the person that you want to be. So just start. Don't be afraid. Just start. We all start, you know, nervous and scared, but with these tips, I know that you guys are going to be recruiting machines, and you're going to have the cash in your pocket. You're going to have those distributors and customers coming in, and your team's going to be on fire and want to follow suit. So make sure that you're showing up so that your team shows up. And I'll come back around to Taylor. If you guys got anything last minute, I'll come right back around. But the last thing, and I think what I'm most excited about, for me anyway, is I started 12 years ago, you guys. We didn't have social media. We had in person. So
you guys know what belly to belly is?
That was so scary, like going in people's houses, like actually asking people to host parties and events. And that's what I love, I think, the most is getting in front of them, because I can see their body language. I can see how they're acting. I can ask them a little bit more questions and recommend even more product, because they're in person and I feel like they trust you when they see it, especially if you have before and after pictures. So we're going to unmute Amy, a diamond in the leader over in Detroit area. I love this girl. She's always full of life and positivity and energy. And Amy, can you unmute yourself?
I'm unmuted.
Yeah, you guys, I just love her. She got asked to do something special this week too, but we're going to talk tonight on what you did this weekend. So share with us, you got to do something fun. It was kind of last minute, right? So a last minute, I don't even know what it was, like a vendor event or something. So give us the rundown of the conversation. How did this even come about? And then how did you make this happen? Because you crushed it, and I can't wait for them to hear.
So my maid of honor at my wedding does all kinds of stuff in our community. And so I watch her, you know, all the time. And I've gone to a few things. So she had an event last month. I went to it. I was a little leery again, because I'm just now kind of getting back out in front of everybody, kind of post-COVID. And so she posted last week that she had 2 more vendor tables available for this event that she was doing in our city. And it was like the first annual Juneteenth celebration. And it was a collaboration with one of the guys that does a lot of grilling in our city. And so they were doing it together. And so my first thought was, you know, I just, you know, not for me kind of thing. And because I get nervous getting in front of people like that, you know, even when I was doing belly to belly, you know, my nerves would be so bad, you know, I would not know what to say to people, and I would just start stumbling over my words just because I was nervous. And so I called her and I was like, I want one of those spots. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. And she said, Amy, you would be great at it. You know, I'll get you set up, you know, whatever. So I signed all the stuff, and then my anxiety like cranked in, and I was like, oh God, did I just sign up for this? Like, I'm getting ready to be in front of people. I'm not really an outside person. I like getting on our boat, but that's as far as outside as I want to be. This was an outside event. So, you know, I started kind of like, whoa. So I immediately start putting stuff in place, thinking, you know, my daughter helped me put some sample packs together. The blessing was, and Stephanie said it, make sure you have product on hand. Now, I haven't really been a big person in the past to have product on hand, but like these last months, as I've been promoting, I've been getting like a lot of product, plus my auto ship comes in monthly, mine and my husband's. And so I had all of this stuff, and I had been looking at it like, dang, what am I going to do with all this stuff? You know, I need to figure out how to get rid of this stuff. And I take my products regularly, but it was like an overflow of stuff. And it wasn't nothing but the Holy Spirit that I had all of this at this particular time. So I started putting stuff together. My daughter started helping me. I got on the phone with Nicole. I messaged her and was like, Nicole, because I didn't, I wasn't messaging you. So, I'm like, Nicole, I need help. And so she said, okay, call me. So we talked on the phone. I ran stuff by her. She said, okay. She gave me ideas. So I was putting all this stuff in place. I'm not a creative person at all in my head. So I was like dumbfounded to some of the stuff of how I was going to set this table up. I was falling asleep on Pinterest, trying to find out how to set this table up. Just simple stuff. But I wanted to make sure my table was perfect. And so the day of the event, I get there, my son helps me get everything set. And I lay out all this stuff. In my head, Nicole helped me come up with prices. So we had prices all together. I had to do like discounts at this little time block. So I did that. I had a gift basket set up. I like all of this stuff just kind of came to play, right? And we didn't know how many people were going to come through there. Here's a crazy thing. In my head, I said to the Lord, I want to make enough money to get this hair braided again tomorrow. So I don't have to dip into anything else. And he said, I got you. And so I was out there from 9:30 until 6:30 on Saturday. And my table was constantly flowing. I was seeing people that I am friends with on social media that I'd never met in person, you know, some of my loyal customers, and new people. And I had my little QR code that somebody gave me, I think it was Nicole, showed me how to do it. So I went on and did that. And it was amazing. Like, so my stuff started disappearing. And I was like, I'm selling this stuff. Like, people were coming up that had been following me, and they watched I went on live a couple times, and they wanted to have that stuff on hand instead of commitment, you know? So I was like, this is your chance. If you don't come catch it now, you're gonna miss out. And they were coming down, and I mean, gummies, you know, bag of coffee, bag of greens. You know, I had like single samples for them to try. You know, I had my label on the stuff on my little sample bags. I mean, it just was perfect. A guy came up and he said, out of every table that I've walked past, your table is perfect. Like, I love the layout. Everything is in place. It's just the colors just come together. I love it. And I just stood there like, thank you.
So Amy, explain to us newbies, people that have never done this, what did your table look like? We don't know. We're blind right now. So was it green or was it white? And was it like different than anything that, if you were to think of It Works, I used to think black, green, and bling. So was it different than that? What was it that was inviting to people?
So I had a lime green tablecloth. I have my pop-up, Crazy Wrap pop-up, and I had glass containers that I got from the dollar store, and I had samples individually in there, and they were different ones. So each container had a different, you know, product in it. I had some coffee mugs with coffee coming out of it or tea coming out of it. I had mints all around my table. So people could just grab a mint and go. I had my little clipboard where they could just sign in. And so everybody signed in for the drawing. It was just, you know, eye-catching. You know, even when I looked at it, I was kind of like, wow, this is really nice.
You're like, this looks good. People need to come to my booth. And you guys, energy, standing outside. I just know how Amy is, and it's inviting. And having a giveaway is key because not everybody will buy on the spot. But you guys, she made over $400 in cash. I was waiting for her to say that.
Yeah.
$400 in cash, over 40 plus leads to follow up. And what I want you guys to think about is it's local. When you get to do things in your community, this is a local team that you can create the community that we've been craving for so long, right? I did so many things in Michigan for so long. You can go into boutiques, do sip and samples, you can do FitWorks, you can do, you know, whatever creative mind that you have, and do all these things, and gift bags, and, you know, here's your chance to get it right now, no commitment, my cost, or add a little bit extra so that you can sell it retail, because some people want that hands-on. They'll buy it retail, which always blows me away. They're going to buy gummies for, you know, $90 or whatever, and not become a loyal customer, just like, what? But there are those people. So, you know, this is just another way for you guys to get into, I'd say living rooms of people, but into the community again. You're going to start seeing people blowing it up in person. Now, is that going to be you? And it's easy to do, you guys. You just need a folding table. Most of the time, the events will have it. If not, you know, get a little folding table. Just have things out. Sometimes I will have empty bottles. So if you have gummies that you're using, Fat Fighters for a Fat Fighter demo, I don't know if she did that, but have empty bottles so they can visually see it. Have your real product underneath so that people can buy it. So it's a grab and go. But I love the ideas of having different packages. They can mix and match. They can do whatever. So here's something too, and I don't know if Amy did this because she was so sweet, not messaging, although, I don't think I was responding to many people this past weekend, but I'm back now, guys. I'm back and I'm ready to go. So watch out. And I'm excited because she's like, you want to hear something fun? I was like, yes. And so when she said that, I was like, this is what people need to hear. You get to go out, have fun. It can be for 2 hours. It could be for 5 hours. Does not matter. But I challenge you guys to get out and to do something like that. Go right now on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can, and search. Maybe it's your church, maybe it's a mom's group, whatever, but I think you'd be surprised on what you can do. But you can do
chamber conference.
Yeah.
They'll tell you what events are coming up, and I'm pretty sure there's not a It Works booth at any of them at the moment.
So, I think making sure that you guys do that and knowing Amy was scared. I would have never guessed that about Amy. Like I guess because I know her and she's easy to talk with, but it's different. So it's going to feel like your nerves are all crazy, but you never know. I mean, how crazy would it be for you guys to have, $400 in your pocket, having local people that you could do parties with or events with, and getting more customers and distributors, because she can follow through with every one of them. They're giving away, putting stuff into the giveaway too, that she was talking about. If somebody always caught my attention, and you guys know that if you're drawn to somebody, that's God telling you, write down a note. They need to be part of your life somehow. You need to make note of that and message them, especially if you've got their Facebook now, their Instagram, their phone number, whatever info you have on the entry drawing, because you just never know. What I would suggest doing, Amy, is let them know, hey, you didn't win the grand prize giveaway, but you did win a spa event or a sip and sample, whatever you want to call, Melt Me Fit, whatever, with 5 of your closest friends. When can we set that up? And you're going to get a little goodie bag from myself. So now she should have 40 parties. Like, there's no question. Amy, I'm coming with you. We're going to do this. It's a road trip and we're going to come and we're going to knock that out. But what did you love about that?
I think I loved connecting with the people the most. A lot of people hadn't heard of It Works. I was the only rep there. And so when they walked up, they're looking at the sign like, what is this? And so I think being able to share with the results that I've had from it, and also sharing about the financial, blessing that it's been for our family. And so, people were really intrigued by that. And I'm glad you said what I need to do next, because I told them within the next few days, they would hear from me. Everybody that, I did the drawing already. We got a winner. I reached out to her. And so I told them if they didn't win, they would still hear from me in a few days. And so now I know exactly what to send them, because I was going to text you and be like, what should I say?
Yep. We're going to go over all of that. So the more that we're getting together, you guys, you're going to start seeing trainings in person. So yes, we love these Zoom trainings because we can connect all over the world, but then some of these local events, getting in front of people, seeing that they're real, and then bringing guests to see, what is this really all about? That is mind blowing to me. When I was chatting with Amy this morning, that she said that people didn't know about It Works. That is in her local community, that people did not know about that. So think about that when you're at the grocery store, when you're getting gas, all these people that you're around that have no idea because we haven't shared with them, or we're not wearing It Works. We're not wearing our billboard that we should be, and being loud and proud about it. So I think the louder, the more bold you get, the more doors will open for you. So I'm excited about that for you guys, not just social anymore, but to be out and about and to have that opportunity to be able to do that. So we'll go over a little bit more of these for those people that really feel like, how can I get more involved in the community? How can I start doing this? Using the product rewards that you have to get some product on hand. That's something I'm glad that Amy said, is this is a business. You need to invest in it like it's a business. Me and Joel always talk about that. If you guys invested, $100,000 into this business, would you take it serious? Absolutely. You would do everything and anything to get people in your door, to sell the product, to get results, to get reviews. What would you be doing if you invested that much? So when you say that you invested in It Works and it was 99, 49, 20, $199, whatever that was, if you really thought this is a $100,000 business to me or $1 million business opportunity, what would you do to get it out there? And I think you would invest in yourself. So getting the training that you need to constantly be learning and growing for people that are having success, you'd be a product of the product, and you'd have product on hand to be able to sell in person, because we never know. What if somebody reached out to you today and said, hey, there's a vendor event and it's tomorrow. Can you do it last minute? Do you have some product on hand that you could go make cash from? Or now you're going to be doing, Taylor's kind of her theme is host to post for everything, leads into cash, leads into other things. So does she have product on hand to sell for cash that she can drop in the mail the next day? You better believe she does. And that just leads to more. So sometimes it feels like, God, to invest $100, $200, $300 in product, that sometimes sounds scary to some. But what it did for me is, I need to sell this, and how can I get to more customers and distributors with that? So I just wanted to open your guys' eyes to something maybe a little bit new and different and fun along the way. So I just love all three of these ladies so much on their energy, their positivity, their willingness to share, because they live in abundance and they know that they're a boomerang and it's going to come right back to them. So before we close it out, was there any last minute a tip, an aha, or anything that was on your heart that you needed to say? Amy, we'll start with you and I'll go backwards. So Amy, any last minute ahas or tips?
So I just want to say, make sure that if you're new, you want to start using the product, get your auto shipment on, get with whoever signed you so you guys can work out a plan that will work for you, and start ordering that, because it'll only work for a minute for you to share other people's results. People are going to want to see, what is the product doing for you? And so if you don't have the results, at some point, then they're not going to really pay attention to you. So you want to make sure, I live by the products that I use, because they've helped me in so many ways. And people that follow me, they know that.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that they see the results. Another thing is, real quick, I just wanted to shout out, one of my girls saw my live that's on my team. She called, she said, I'm getting ready to get in the shower and throw my clothes on. I'm coming to help you. So make sure, when you start doing the vendor events, let one of your team, she wanted to learn. And so, and that's helping her to be able to prepare herself for her vendor event, and I'll go help her. So just make sure that you are staying connected with who enrolled you, so that you can learn and grow from that person.
I love it. I love you so much, Amy. Thank you. Thank you. Taylor, anything else that you wanted to share?
Just one tip is just stay consistent. And I know it's like a broken record, but stay consistent, because if you're not seeing the results that you want now, just keep doing the things until you see the results that you want. And it takes consistency. You can't just do it here and there or whenever you feel like it. But success comes with consistency.
I love it. That is why you're successful. All right. And then Ashley, anything else that you had?
I feel like I talk forever, but I want to say happy anniversary to you guys. And you guys are literally on Zoom, hosting a Zoom for your whole team on your anniversary. So thank you.
Well, that's because we love you guys so very much. And we are just, when we think about this business, we're just so blessed to be able to get to do what we want. So we can have anniversary all other 363 days, 4 days of the year. It doesn't need to just be this day, but thank you for the love. I appreciate that. And we can't wait for you guys to live the life that you've maybe dreamed of, imagined. And with that work, with these tips that these girls just shared tonight, I'm just so excited for y'all to have some success, get moving, being consistent. And we're just going to have an amazing week. I'm going to get the replay up because some of you jumped on a little late and I'm already getting texts how awesome this was. So make sure you guys go give them some love on their social medias because it is encouraging and refreshing to know that did what I say matter. And absolutely, you three, you do matter. You're inspiring. You are world changers. We love you so much. Joel's going to close us out in prayer and we will see you guys again next Monday night at 8.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this amazing team. Thank you for these amazing leaders and the tips they shared. Just ask that you would take what they've helped give out and multiply it through all these people. God, go out and do amazing things this week through them. Just ask that they would go out and change the world. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, guys, have an amazing week. Love you all.
See you guys.